Okay, so enough with the intro, a little demonstration for you. This here, the cube, and this here is a square pyramid. Most important part to notice about the square pyramid and the cube is that they are the same height. So if you kind of put these here side by side, or gosh darn close to it, same height, they actually share the same base too. This is the size of the base right here. I can put that base on the square pyramid. I can also apply that same base to the cube. Okay, so it's the same base for both of the shapes. Okay, so same base, same height. That's the important part. Now the question is, if this has a base, and we know how the volume thing works, it's the elevator ride to the top, right? So what you do is you find out what is the area of the base, and that's what that capital B is in our formula. Then it's multiplied by the height. And it's just that simple. It's the area of the base, whatever the base is. Find a circle, find a square, find a trapezoid, find a triangle, whatever's on the bottom, find the area of the base, multiply that base times the height to get to the top. And it's like an elevator right on the inside, all the way to the top, and it finds all the volume on the inside. What happens though if it comes to a point? Well, that's the easy part. That's where it's just divide by 3, because it's 1/3 because it comes to a point. And that's what I was showing some students earlier today on Google Meet. You can see here that that pyramid sits inside, and it takes up just 1/3 the amount of space on the inside of that cube. That means there's 2/3 the amount of space floating around the inside of the cube that's not inside of this pyramid here, okay? So kind of cool to check that out. Now, we can prove that with a little bit of sand, and I've got some sand here that the sand is filled up into my little cone, or my, excuse me, not my cone, my square pyramid. So I'm gonna use this square pyramid in the sand. I'm gonna fill it up. And you can see pretty clearly that if you check this out, that is pretty spot on to about 1/3 of the way up. So 1/3, 2/3, and then 3/3 all the way to the top. So we could fill a second one just to prove that it is going to take 3, okay, of these to fill all the way to the top. Okay, so we're close. I straighten it out a little bit more. It's actually right here. Okay. And then I can add that third one in, pack it all the way in with the sand, fill in the corners a little bit, okay? And then you can see there that, boom, it's all the way filled to the top, and it took 3 of this, okay? So 3 of these fill up the 1 cube, and therefore the formulas make a lot of sense. Hopefully that makes sense for you. Now let's look at the last couple things on our agenda. Make items number 3 and number 4. Okay, so another part that's going to be on your test is going to be this, finding other parts when you're given this formula. So we know the formula, for example, if it's a pyramid, volume equals 1/3 area of the base, that capital B is area of the base, meaning the square of the bottom times the height, and the height is equal to 6. So in this pyramid, the height is equal to 6. That's my tent pole going to the top. And you're told that the volume is 200 centimeters squared. In a question like this, you might say, well, what is the area of the base? Or what is the height? You might not always be looking for the volume. Just like when we solved our interest equals principal times rate questions. Sometimes you're solving for a missing piece. In this case, I'm going to use the parts that I know to find a different part. So if I'm told the volume is 200, I'm plugging that in for the volume. I'm setting that equal to 1/3 times area of the base times the height, and I was told the height is worth 6. So now I can solve, and I can kind of figure out what that area of the base has to be, and I can go from there. So now I can do 1/3 times 6. Well, 1/3 of 6, and you're allowed to do 1/3 of 6 over there, that's equal to 2, which means 2 times the base, 2 times the area of the base has to be equal to 200. If I divide this by 2 and I divide this by 2, these are going to cancel out. Area of the base comes down. Area of the base is equal to 100. But remember, that's the area of the base. That's not each side. That means that the entire floor here, which is a square pyramid, I think I said in the beginning, it's a square pyramid, a side and a side. Okay, so it's a square pyramid, and it's a side times side has to be 100. So we know that if it's a square and one side times one side has to be 100, we know that 100 is equal to s squared. Well, I can undo the s squared with the square root symbol, undo s squared, and I can get s equals, I can square root the 100, and I can do the square root of 100 to be 10, and that means that each side would have to be 10. So equals 10 equals 10. Okay? Hopefully you don't have too many questions about that. That's really just using that same formula, working the problem down. I can tell you right now, the ones that are going to be the most successful are the ones with paper and pencil, solving the formula, using the formula, keeping yourself organized, just like in class. Thanks a lot for doing that. Do that when you get to your final score part of your volume today. Thanks. Okay, so the other piece that's going to be on your quiz or your final score, your test, or whatever you want to call it, it's a score. It's really what it is. It's points. It's points that are needed to be successful and showing that you can rock out this volume material. Sometimes you're going to be subtracting. All right, so you might find not just the big, large cylinder, but then find that hollow tube that goes down the middle. So you'd find the area of the small circle, the big circle. You'd have the same height, but then you would simply subtract away the hollow space. And that makes plenty of sense, I think, for everybody in the room or wherever you are in your room. Adding, well, that makes plenty of sense too. Sometimes you'll find the volume of this pyramid. So it's a square pyramid sitting on top of maybe a cube or a rectangular prism. You might have two solids that are connected in some way, shape, or form, and you might have to add the two pieces together. So find the volume there, find the volume there, add the two volumes together, and bada bing, bada boom. So finding missing volume and moving pieces out of the volume or adding pieces together to find a total volume, I think we can definitely work through some of those. If you have any questions about those before you get to your quiz or even after your quiz, please be sure you see me about those questions. Congrats to Annika Kulkarni. Ani, you won the most recent quiz on the math puzzles. Congratulations. Let me know if you want the La Rosas or if you want the BJ's Brewhouse. Just shoot me an email with which one you want. I'll put it in the mail tomorrow. Congratulations. Look for the next puzzle coming your way very soon. Thanks, guys. All right, folks. So Matthew is almost done. A lot of people are really close, like in the 95% complete style. So go ahead and finish those up. If you're not really all that close, just plugging along every now and then. But I'd love to see some of those people that are 75% and higher, almost completed with the whole thing. Just kind of knock it out and get it done. Last but not least, if you have any questions about the volume material today, please make sure that you shoot me a message or join me at 1:30 from 1:30 to 2:30 open conferences. And I do need everyone to be at their small group math sessions at 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock small group map sessions or math sessions, 1 o'clock math sessions, 1 o'clock. There's a small group. It's on that color-coded sheet. I've had some great success the last couple of days, but definitely make sure you bookmark that and you're there at 1 o'clock. Thanks, everybody, for doing a great job. Keep it up. I miss seeing everybody, and hope you're staying happy and healthy and getting outside for some exercise. But keep up the hard work in the math class, and I much appreciate your efforts. If you have any questions about anything or can't get something to open up, let me know. But usually refresh and close out and open it back up. Usually works out pretty well. Thanks, guys. Take care. Shoot me any questions you got. Peace out.